Knicks family? What's poppin', man? And what's poppin', Knicks family? Still dealing with a few technical difficulties, just some small ones. You know what I'm saying? But we're trying to get this thing right. Glad y'all continue to join me though. We about to get into this a little bit. Dwayne Wade. Maybe his garden farewell. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's rock. What's up, Knicks family? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? I'm trying to get a few things right, man. But you know, no matter what happens, there's always some kind of issue with this with these technical difficulties. But you know what I mean? We're gonna go. Comment, thank you. You said, hey Sim, as a Heat fan, I respect your videos. I appreciate that, my friend. You know, as a Heat fan, I mean, you're a Heat fan. I'm going to tell you what, as a Knicks fan, you know, I can't stand anything about the Heat. I got respect for them, though. I say that. I definitely got some respect for the Heat. I got respect for the way that the Miami Heat do things down there in Miami. Pat Riley, you know, they just got things right in Miami. You know, they know what they're doing down there. The game went as expected, for me at least. Well, I didn't expect the Knicks to have a lead. We played much better in the first half than I expected us to. Third quarter, things kind of went back to, you know, what the Knicks are in the third quarter. You know, but it wasn't a bad game. It wasn't a horrible game. I think what we do, we end up losing by 10. That's about where I expected. I thought that the Knicks would be, you know, we would be competitive. I thought that, you know, we would stay within an earshot and then lose the game. And that's kind of exactly what we did. Exactly what we did. Melo got a good ovation at the Garden. You know, I know this is Knicks right now. Well, you know, Melo is a former Knick. I feel bad for Melo a little bit. And I know there's a lot of people that probably disagree with me, but I feel bad for Melo. You know what I mean? I think Melo deserves to be in the league. He deserves to be playing with someone. In my opinion, he does. You know, Melo is, many of you probably disagree with me, and that's cool, but Melo's a Hall of Famer, man. You know, and he can still score in this league. We know that's one thing that he can do. He can still help a team some way, somehow. Melo can still help a team. I want to see Melo back in the league. You know what I mean? I want to see Melo back in the league. I think that Carmelo deserves to be in the league. So hopefully we can see Melo back in the league. And for me, I hope we can see him back in the league sooner than later, right? Glad to see him get a good ovation at the Garden. You know, Knicks fans know, we know the way things went down with Melo and everything that happened with Melo. So I'm glad to see the brother get a good ovation at the Garden. All right. Anyway, if you want to call in, if you want to jump in on appear.n/NBK, I think we're straight with the technical difficulties. If you want to call in, 516-405-2246, and we make sure everything is working good. All right? We make sure things are working right, so that we can talk, chat, and have a good time. All right. The Knicks tonight. You know, this wasn't. It wasn't a horrible game. Let's just be truthful. It wasn't a horrible game. You know, the Knicks fought. They battled in the beginning. They showed some grit. They showed some defense. Showed some ball movement. They did some of these things in the beginning of the game. Third quarter, we had one of those third quarters. One of those third quarters that Fizdale had, from the beginning of the season, preached about these third quarters, right? Preached about, trying to have better third quarters, right? So that we can win, so that we don't get smacked. Because last season, we got smacked every third quarter. It seemed like it was the third quarter of doom every single game. This year, we've done a little bit better, I think, at least in stints. We've done a little bit better. Competing and playing in that third quarter. We had some terrible ones, though. I will say that. We definitely had some terrible third quarters. But I think we've done better. I think we've done a little bit better. All right. Let's take a look at, we'll take a look at what went on during the game. While we're waiting for some people to go ahead and call in. I know I'm late on the stream. People probably expected me to be here at 10:30. It didn't quite happen. Let me see. Let's test out my stuff and see if everything is working. Let's take a phone call real quick. Caller, you're on Live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Hey, Sam, Kwame over here from Miami. I wanted to ask you a question, bro. So I've been looking at a lot of your videos about Tim Hardaway Jr., and I wanted to ask you if you think he would be a good fit for my Miami Heat. The reason why I ask is because I think the Miami Heat could use a young scorer, and I think the Knicks could use draft picks and young players. And I think trading a guy like Bam Adebayo or any of our young guys could benefit both teams, bro.
Well, let me ask you this. What is your thoughts on Dion Waiters?
I actually think he would be a good trade because recently he was upset about his playing time, and I think the Knicks could use a guy who's like tough and gritty from Philadelphia that can kind of fit into that Knicks culture. And I think Waiters is an underrated leader, and I think could obviously lead a lot of those young guys like Trier and others to the promised land.
So why wouldn't you guys want to keep Waiters? Is it just not working there with Waiters, or what is it?
Well, the thing is, I think Dion Waiters has had an issue with keeping himself healthy over the last few years. Mm-hmm. And I also think that the Miami Heat are so loaded at guard positions, especially at the 2 and the 3, that I think the Knicks could obviously use a guy, that we can kind of expend and get rid of his contract. The only issue is I don't know if you guys would be willing to pay for Waiters.
Yeah, Waiters is making a little bit less than Tim Hardaway Jr., right? I think Waiters is, 15 a year or something like that?
Yeah. It's about a similar contract. I also think because Tim Hardaway Sr. played in Miami, I think Heat fans would really love it, especially since Jr. kind of grew up in the Miami area,
Right. I tell you what, I think the Knicks would be looking with Tim Hardaway Jr. If they're gonna move him, they're gonna look to relieve some of that salary cap because the Knicks want to be players in the 2019 free agency. So I don't think they want to take back, take back $15 million for I guess roughly the same time period. I think if they move Tim Hardaway Jr., they're going to be looking to get from under that contract and try to free up some money for this summer. Now, if you guys got some young guys whose contracts are expiring this year, then I think the Knicks would be all for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the very last thing I'm going to say, Sim, because I know that you got a lot of the callers coming on. I just want to also ask you, do you think if you guys get rid of Hardaway Jr., that's pretty much telling the city of New York that you're going in 100% tank mode? Because getting rid of Hardaway Jr. pretty much says that the season's over.
Yeah. And I think the Knicks have already said that. If you listen to, you probably didn't because you're,
yeah.
But if you listen to Fizdale in the last post-game interview, he talked about Enes Kanter and why he's not playing. He talked about Hardaway, and when he talked about Hardaway, he said, Hardaway's got 2 years, $18 million left on his contract, and from that standpoint, and that's what stuck out to a lot of Knicks fans, from that standpoint, he is still part of this organization. And then, of course, Enes Kanter, he made it pretty clear that Kanter's not part of the future of this team. Then you got Trey Burke, who is also up. He's on a trading block. So I think even without trading Hardaway, they've made it pretty clear to the fans that this season, there's nothing left to this season to salvage as far as record wise, and making any kind of playoff push or anything like that. They're full out trying to develop and prepare for the future. I don't think coming into the season, I don't think anyone even I don't think in the organization they expected the Knicks to make the playoffs anyway. So,
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I definitely think in Miami, like Hardaway Jr. could probably make more efficient shots with, obviously other guys there. But anyway, Sim, thank you so much for taking my call, bro. I'll call in another time, buddy.
I appreciate the call. Thank you. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get back to breaking down, looking at the box scores and things of this game. All right. We'll take a gander at this for a hot second. The Knicks led the first quarter 26-25. They led the second quarter 32-27. They went into halftime with a 6-point lead, and you were looking like, whoa, okay. The Knicks came out to play, but there's always one quarter. There's always a quarter. In the third quarter tonight, it was the third quarter. The Knicks lost the third quarter 29-12. Right, and then they came back and won the fourth quarter 27-25 as they tried to make a push, but there just wasn't enough for the Knicks to make a push to try to get this game under control. But they made it exciting for the Garden crowd. We'll give them that. They definitely did. It just wasn't enough for the Knicks to do anything or make enough of a push to win this game. We'll scroll down a little bit further. You see the Knicks' biggest lead was 9. The Miami Heat's biggest lead was 13. The Miami Heat shot 46.4% from the field, 36.4% from 3. They went to the line 18 times, shot 88.9%. The Knicks, on the other hand, shot 42.9% from the field. 26.9% from 3. Only 26.9% from 3 did the Knicks shoot. And then 75% from the free throw line. The Knicks went to the line 24 times. Again, with no Enes Kanter in the lineup, the Knicks beating on the glass 46-39. 22 assists for the Knicks tonight, a little bit above their season's average. So kudos for that. They had 13 assists at the half. That third quarter really did the Knicks in, though. The Knicks had 12 steals, 3 blocks, and only 11 turnovers. We'll take a look at the box scores real quick. Then we'll get to talking. And I'm hoping that we get... There we go. We got some people trying to jump into... let's see who's jumping into the video chat right now. We got Guillermo in the video chat. Guillermo, I'll be with you in just a minute, my friend. If I can. All right. Well, anyway, let's get this over to the New York Knicks. Kevin Knox tonight had a slow night. Some people say that Kevin Knox has hit the rookie wall. It could be true. Maybe he has hit the rookie wall. Kevin Knox, 4 points, 2 for 6 from the field for 33%. Only 2 rebounds tonight. Lance Thomas, who has been inserted in the starting lineup for Enes Kanter, for his defense and versatility, has 4 points, 50% from the field, 2 rebounds. Noah Vonleh, only 2 points, 9 rebounds for Noah Vonleh. Tim Hardaway Jr. tonight, playing in front, playing with his idol, Dwayne Wade. 22 points, 7 for 16 from the field. Didn't play a bad game. Had 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Frank Ntilikina went out with a groin injury. He was playing a decent game, but it went out with a groin injury. Did not play in the second half. Had 6 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. And this may open up the door for Trey Burke either to try to cement himself as a future player for the Knicks, which I don't think they have that in mind for Trey Burke, or to showcase himself to other teams, either at the trade deadline or when we talk about free agency. Lonzo Trier tonight, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Damian Dotson, 14 points, 4 assists. Mitchell Robinson had 6 points, 7 rebounds for Mitchell Robinson tonight, 1 assist. He also had 2 blocks. Mario Hezonja, he had 12 points tonight. Trey Burke had 16. Mario Hezonja had 12 points and 5 rebounds. Trey Burke had 16 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Courtney Lee and Nez Cantor did not play in tonight's game. No surprise there that neither one of those guys played in tonight's game. Looking at Miami, and Miami right now can actually use some help at the point guard spot right now. So maybe, maybe that could be a potential landing spot for Trey Burke if he is going to be moved at the deadline. James Johnson, 13 points. Justice Winslow had 11 points, 6 assists. Hassan Whiteside, 13 points, 16 rebounds. Wayne Ellington, a guy that at one time was a New York Knick, had 19 points. 4 for 11 from the three-point line. Josh Richardson, 12 points, 2 assists. Dwayne Wade had 15 points and 10 assists. In what could possibly be his farewell to Madison Square Garden, Dwayne Wade had 15 points and 10 assists. He also had 5 turnovers. And then you seen at the end of the game, he exchanged jerseys with Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. playing well in front of his idol and Dwayne Wade, I'm sure giving some pleasantries to Hardaway Jr. as this could very well be his last game at Madison Square Garden. The Miami Heat are due back. They're due back in March. We'll see if Dwayne Wade is suited up at that time. Running down the remainder of the box score, Bam Adebayo had 9 points, 6 rebounds. Derek Jones, 4 minutes, didn't do much. Deion Waiters played 17 minutes. He only had 3 points and 2 assists. Kelly Olynyk had 11 points and 6 rebounds. And here you go, folks. That's kind of the story of the game in a nutshell. So we got Guillermo up in here. We're going to talk to Guillermo just a little bit and see who else is going to join us in the chat. Right? And Guillermo, I think I got some of this stuff worked out, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, sounds cleaner, man.
Yeah, you know what was going on? I had some stuff up in the software that I use, and the software was taking up when I was streaming. The software was taking up like 35% of my computer power, so it was slowing down everything. And I have a pretty good computer here, but but I had so many things in there, and the software that I was using to encode the video, it was just using too much computer power.
If you can, you should look into trying to upgrade your RAM. So you can run.
Yeah, I got a lot of RAM already in there. It's just that there was so many things already in the it's called Open Broadcast software. There was so many things in there. I had to cut down a few things, and then it started to run faster, and then switch my encoder, which I'm hoping that still gives me a quality video. But for tonight, things is working well, so we're good to go.
That's good.
It's good to go.
That's good.
What'd you think about the game?
You know what's weird, Sim? I wasn't mad at this game at all, man. This is, if you look at the guy's stats, this is like we talked about before in regards to synergy on this team and guys playing with the flow. Like I still don't like how to use a big man. I think our big men stay on the perimeter a little bit too much. We need to get them not just necessarily on the post, but on the foul line. Have them in, make them a threat at least from the foul line so they can facilitate, have guys play a little bit on them so guys can make backdoor cuts and things like that. If the big man's not just kind of playing off, sagging off, playing deeper in the paint. But I will say one thing, man. I saw a lot of it was better synergy. I think defensively we still had some lapses, but the energy was there. The double teaming and getting right back to a man, running around, and peeking and then coming back off the pick and rolls, double teaming and. When these guys are stuck in corners. I like what I saw defensively. I know, Ellington hit, 2 just disgusting threes with a hand dead in his face. So, you can't really kill the team for that. But what I saw was a lot of teamwork. And there was one sequence. And look, I'm not a Tim Hardaway fan, but I will say this: maybe it's something that's changed with the team. There was a fast break. I think it was with Trier or Dots. I can't remember who. Someone in the chat room correct me. And they were passing in the fast break. And the Heat kind of came back, but the Knicks still had like an advantage because like the Heat kind of, one of the guys overcommitted to one side, so one guy was open. And I can't remember if it was Dotson or Trey. I can't remember who, but they took the bad shot and they should have passed it to someone else who was open on the three. And Hardaway was telling the guy, not in a bad manner, but he was like, hey, next time on that, see the guy over there that's open on a three. And there was no argument, nothing. And it was like, yes, that's actually the right play. And I don't know if that's just Hardaway, with his flashes of leadership. Sometimes he just happens to be a little bit more selfless, or it's a team thing. But I love what I saw there. So yeah. I'm happy with the Knicks. I mean, everybody on the team, I know Knox is having his little slump. But it's weird. It's like when Knox has a slump, Dotson and Hazonia do well. And then when they don't do well, Knox has a slump. So they have to find a better way to play with each other. But I'm not necessarily too mad. Look, the Heat are a good defensive team. They get hot from the three. Right. Dwayne Wade, he was cooking and baking a little bit later on in the game. So I'm not too angry with the game. And Kansas sat down again, which was a godsend. It was beautiful, man. But I'm not too disappointed with the game.
I'm not too disappointed with the game either. It's kind of, it's basically what I expected from from this game. And look, as far as with Tim Hardaway Jr., I guess Fizdale, Tim Hardaway Jr., Alonzo Trier had a little bit of a talk, to kind of discuss everything that happened. And I think not just, what happened with the social media stuff, but also what happened, with them arguing on the court, And it wasn't even a big argument. It was just a little dust up, I guess. Now, I don't think that dust up is, just it was coming, if you know what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. It was coming. It wasn't like, oh, this just happened just now. Usually something like that, something that's been brewing. Either Hardaway's been holding it in or whatever it was, or it's been happening. Right.
And remember Sim in the chat room, people were saying, oh, you got to let these kids play and all that stuff. Well, when you let these kids play and there's nothing to remind them of teamwork, you get things like the Trier and the Hardaway thing, because one guy's just looking to get his because that's all he knows how to do. Now, again, tonight, you saw Trier. He made some hockey passes. Hey, he passed it up. Even though he could have taken his man one-on-one, he passed it up. Mm-hmm. And that's because the coach, I'm assuming the coach, because I saw a lot more passing. He had 22 assists today versus Heat's 26. And there's a lot more passing. There's a lot more movement with the ball. We always pass on the perimeter. But there were guys literally looking to see, all right, hey, I'm not going to hold on to the ball too much. Let me pass it off and then do something, which was very impressive. So people talk about, you just let them play, don't put a system. Well, when you actually put a system, you look a lot more structured and they look a lot better. Yeah. You didn't, even though we lost, but it wasn't a game where Trier or Burke had to score 30 to try to keep us in the game. We were still in the game, and a bunch of guys were scoring the double digits. So, people, if you're talking about all this freelance basketball, it doesn't work in the NBA, bro. It just doesn't. You need structure, and these kids are so young, they're impressionable. They need structure, and I hope Fizdale's doing this, but I'm happy. Now, one thing I always say to him, I was very scared when Melo said that this was home, and I was like, Lord Jesus Christ, don't tell me he's about to break off some breaking news or something like that. But I ain't gonna lie, when he was sitting there and they finished the interview, and for some reason, these guys, whoever the people are, the camera crew, the Knicks, they're some jerks. They kept that camera on Melo for an extra 15 seconds to get his reaction of take off that fake smile. You're depressed because you want to come back in the NBA. And I'm like, Lord, this is the most cringeworthy segment I've ever seen. But when he said that Knicks thing, Sim, my heart, I almost skipped a beat. I was like, please do not. I hope Fizdale is not looking at this guy to come back. And even Walt Frazier was like, Melo still thinks he's a starter. And it's like, yo.
Yeah, I peeped that. I did peep that. I did. I peeped that.
That was grimy, man.
Yeah, he said. I did. I definitely peeped that. He said, Melo still thinks he's a starter in the league. I mean, I get it. You know, listen, it's hard. It is hard. It is hard to accept. It's hard to accept it. You know what I'm saying? You know, once you reach a certain age, and your ability drops, right? It's hard to accept that you no longer have that ability. It is just hard. It's hard to accept it. I went through it myself. Trust me. I went through it myself. I play in the men's league, and it was hard for me to accept when I was slowing down, and I wasn't going to be able to, move with some of these younger guys anymore. And I was frustrated myself because you feel like you can still do it, right? You feel like you can still do it. You feel like you're still there. You're in the court, boom, boom, boom. You make a couple moves, your go-to move or whatever it is, and you don't beat the guy in front of you. And you're like, wait a minute, what happened? I used to beat these guys. You go to your second move and you don't beat them again. Now you're asking yourself questions, and it's tough to deal with. It's it's tough.
But you see, Sim, a guy like Melo, and this is why I get mad at Melo, because I feel like all his counterparts, you can say Dwayne Wade. I think they're around the same age, but Dwayne Wade had more wear and tear in his body than Melo. We could agree to that because he was carrying that Heat team and they had really not much. And he was a main guy, main scorer, main defender. One of the most. He's probably, I think, number 2 to Jordan in terms of two-way guards. And this guy was, but he also reinvented himself, right? He became more of a facilitator. He knew when to turn on. I mean, today he was just kind of chucking even in the beginning, but it was just last year, whatever. Melo's never reinvented himself. Melo never said, all right, you know what? I'm not the same. The NBA game is no longer these long twos and playing this bully ball. Let me make the stretch three, but also let me lose weight. Let me get more condition, and let me play defense. Because if Melo was a D&3 guy, he's not leaving the OKC Thunder. And people that say that Melo can't play D, go back. There was a game in 2013 or 14 or 12 and 13 where Melo had, I know plus or minus is not the greatest thing, but he had a plus minus of 25. He had 8 points that game. He had like 15 rebounds, something like that. And he played the best. It was against Charlotte. It was the Charlotte Bobcats before they turned to the Hornets. Mm-hmm. Oh, back to the Hornets. And he had and I looked at that Melo and I was like, yo, that is the leader that we need. This guy was facilitating. He didn't take bad shots. He was moving the ball. And he wasn't sick or anything. And I'm like, that is a Melo that I wish we had. Not necessarily score 8 points. You're a good scorer, score when you need to. But we never really kept that up. So there are ways to reinvent yourself, son. For a guy as talented as Melo, that I've seen him since Syracuse, there's no way he should be sitting on a bench watching a game. He should be in a game contributing 10, 15 points a game, good defense, good passing, be a second guy. So it's also about your mindset, Sim. A lot of these guys, they don't want to change because they think about that glory. But hey, Gary Payton did it, right? Carmelo went to the Lakers. I mean, I know he didn't win one, but a lot of guys in the NBA who were greats, they reinvented themselves, man. And I think Melo has to dig deep, humble himself, and reinvent himself, man.
Yeah. That's exactly what he's got to do. That's exactly what he's got to do. Is he willing to do it? We'll see. But that's what he's got to do. We'll see if he's willing to do it. I don't know.
You got to make that money for Lala, man. She's trying to get roles on Power and everything, man. So
right. I mean, I'm a Melo fan. If the Knicks became good over the next 2 years and he wanted to come back and he didn't mind sitting on the bench, I wouldn't mind. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I wouldn't mind it. If he wanted to come back and sit on the bench and be a role player, I don't know if he can do that. I don't know if he can do that, though.
Yo, can y'all please put a yes or no if you want Melo back on his team and the Knicks become decent again in the next 2 years? Because Sim is bugging, man. See, this is what happens with these Melo fans. They know Melo's done. And you like Stephen A. Smith, man. You give all these excuses of Melo. Look, I used to love Melo since Syracuse.
I don't have any excuses for Melo, man. Melo is I just like him. Right?
Yeah.
I just like him. I ain't gonna lie. I just like him. I don't have any excuses for him, though. Melo could have reinvented his game. He should have reinvented his game. He could have been a very good defender, I think. He just decided not to. I think Melo has a really high basketball IQ, and it made him lazy. right? Where you know, like I've seen a lot of guys that have a high basketball IQ, and it makes them kind of cheat a little bit, right? Because the basketball IQ is high. I feel like he was one of those guys. And then like Melo didn't really start trying to take care of his body until I think it was too late.
Definitely.
You know, until it was too late. And then
I'll disagree with you, Sim, on what you just said. I agree with that. I think he has a high basketball IQ, but what he has that Kobe in him, right? Kobe is also a very intelligent basketball player. People think because he chucks in streets, but what it is hubris. These guys think that my skill supersedes intelligence. So even if I have 8 hands in my face, I can shoot it. I'm gonna hit the clutch 3.
Yeah,
that's what Kobe used to do as well too. Now, LeBron, I'm not a LeBron fan, but he's on the other side of the spectrum in some regards. He has hubris, he's egotistical, but he relies more on his IQ versus his skill, which gets him in trouble because there are times it's like, yo, one-on-one against Draymond when he has 5 fouls, you need to be driving to the basket instead of passing out to Kyle Korver. So Melo, he's annoying. I'm telling you, man, him and who's this guy, the power forward, him and Hakeem Warwick. Man, I was going around saying Melo's better than LeBron James because he had that heart. You know, he represents that New York basketball where it's like, I'm a supersede all probabilities and percentages. I'm gonna make myself a part of whether this is a good shot or not because I'm gonna hit it over 2 people or whatever. You know what I mean? So, but that hubris, man, it kills you. Yeah. And if you don't get guys around you to help you out, look, he had Woodson, he had D'Antoni didn't like him, and I understand, D'Antoni they didn't really mesh, and then Phil Jackson came over, so he kind of got screwed over. You know, Kobe got lucky by getting Phil Jackson back and getting all these plays, but Melo, man, it's hubris, man. You gotta just humble yourself, bro. Just just know that.
See what happens with Melo, man. See what happens. I hope he finds a spot in the league someplace. I don't know. You know, people kind of giving him the cold shoulder right now. Big shout out to Marty Knicks. He said, how is the ISO ball working out, folks? I'm glad I didn't grow up in NYC with the street ball mentality. That's from Marty Knicks, from my guy Marty Knicks.
There was a good article. I don't know. Is Marty from the U.S.?
I'm not sure. I think he lives in like Minnesota or something.
I'm going to post there's an article. I think it's on Bleach Report. Either Bleach Report or YouTube that broke down how who develops players better, the Euro game or the US. So, how'd you like Frank tonight before he got injured, man?
I thought Frank was playing. He was playing well. He was playing good tonight. 6 points, 4 assists, and then now he has a groin injury. As a matter of fact, I was just getting ready to move to talking about Frank and Trey Burke. As a matter of fact. Frank went out with a groin injury, and of course Trey Burke is now, for the foreseeable future, the starting point guard for the Knicks. I don't know how long that groin injury is going to keep Frank out. Emmanuel Mudiay is out with a shoulder injury, and I guess that's going to be at least 2 to 3 weeks. So we're looking at Trey Burke probably starting tomorrow. Well, not probably, starting tomorrow night versus Kemba Walker. Right.
Good.
So, I guess let's start with Frank. Every time Frank gets going a little bit, there's a setback, right? every time, there's a setback. And, it's like we can't escape it. It was an ankle injury. Now, earlier in the season, I think he went out. Did he go out earlier in the season?
Did he go out early in the season?
Did he miss a couple of games?
Yeah. Because he had the ankle.
Yeah, he had something.
Yeah.
And now he's got a groin injury. He's out again. I don't know if this is is it asymptomatic of things to come in the future, if assuming that he's here long term, as far as injuries are concerned, or is it just one of those things? Do we have to worry about injuries with this kid, do you think?
I'll say this. It's not that I'll be scared if it was like the same injury. right? If it was the same ankle, because ankles can be, they don't, thank God he's young, but as you get older, ankle injuries, it piles up the bone and all this. It's annoying, but he's still growing, one, and it's not the same constant injuries, right? There's some players that just keep getting the same,
right?
You know, like MPJ, he kept getting those back injuries when he was in college, stuff like that. So I'll be a little bit, I'm not too worried now. It just sucks because you want him. Frank is a rhythm guy, and you want him to get. It's like a video game. I don't even know what video game to compare it to, but you want him to fill up to that level where his confidence reaches a new floor, like it hits a ceiling, and that's now the new floor, and he can build on that. Because I saw 2 moves from Frank today where I was like, oh, okay, he's playing a little angry. It was the first play of the game where he made that layup. He just drove. You saw he had the advantage on his left, took it and just drove and laid it up. Then he had that one where he kind of like brought the ball back and shot it. You know, he kind of, I don't know what the move would be, but again, not really a crossover, but like he brought it back quickly, kind of got the guy and then shot the ball. And I'm like, hey, that was a great move. Yeah. So you just want him to keep the momentum, you know, because what he's doing now, it's new to him, right? He's not facilitate. He can always facilitate. He's always a good facilitator. But what he's doing now is trying to be more aggressive and be more confident in his shot and his move, his dribbling, right? So you just want him to not get injured. But put like this, I'm happy that Fizdale's taking a more hard line with these guys. He's not playing Cantor as much, and I think that once we get closer to trading deadline, you know, I think Frank will be more assured that he has a place on his team. He doesn't have to so-called prove himself and get, you know, chewed out by Fizdale for no reason, whatever. So I think his spot is safe. But yes, it does suck that, you know, he just has another setback. You want him to get as many minutes this year, as possible.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you know, when he first came to the team, he was what? Yeah, he couldn't even play in the summer league because of an ankle injury. I think he played most of last season when he finally came back. This year he suffered a couple of injuries. Hopefully he can get going, you know, and you know, let the injuries get past him. Finish up with his injuries and just play out the rest of the season and be injury free. Trey Burke now, because of Frank Ntilikina's injury, because of Emmanuel Mudiay's injuries, Trey Burke is next up to bat. Right, so now looking at the team, so you're looking tomorrow night. It's going to be Trey Burke at the point guard spot, Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 2. Kevin Knox, Noah Vonleh, Lance Thomas. You know, that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow night in Charlotte. What are your expectations looking at that?
I'll say this. This is a weird offset. So it sucks that we don't have Frank there because I think he can do a bang job on Kemba in terms of guarding. But I will say one thing, and if you guys could watch the game again, or if you guys know parts, I'll say that Mitchell Robinson did a way better job on flashing in the middle, which is what Kemba's going to look to do. So he's going to be burnt to the basket. It's going to depend on how well Mitch reacts to that, because I thought he did a good job today. At times, there were spurts where you saw him flash up as soon as you saw that point guard come around a pick to kind of help out in the middle, and the point guard, you know, was relegated to kind of pass it out or taking a not great shot. So that's something that obviously is way better than what Cantor offered. So it's a weird offset. It's going to be how well Mitchell guards that middle, because Burke is going to get beat, versus how well Kemba plays tomorrow. And if you can force Kemba into taking shots versus penetrating that middle and leaving us vulnerable, you know, you have a better game. But yeah, you know, it just sucks that Frank. And I don't think Frank played the last time, right? That we played the Hornets. Frank wasn't there, right?
No, I'm not sure.
Frank didn't play.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think that Friday night game where we came back by 20-something, I don't think Frank played. Someone in the chat could correct me. I just don't remember Frank playing, but yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you, during this time, I don't know how long Frank is going to be out. We know Mudiay is going to be out for, 2 to 3 weeks. Do we bring up Kadeem Allen? Or are they going to use Trey Burke? Alonzo Trier to back up Trey Burke.
It sucks because both those guys basically do the same thing. Like when Burke drives, he has tunnel vision, and Trier has that same tunnel vision, even though he's a little bit better. I wouldn't mind bringing up I don't know much about Allen. If you could inform me, I just know he plays West, but I don't know much about his actual skill set. But
Well, he's a defensive guy. We know that. Yeah, he can play defense at that point of attack.
I wouldn't mind that. You need somebody to kind of offset Trey, because I don't mind playing Trey at the 2, even though you have Dotson as well too. But yeah, I'd rather keep that defensive identity on the team. I know it's weird because you're bringing up a guy, even though you have so many other guards on the team, and even Courtney Lee, but Courtney Lee's not really offering much. But I wouldn't mind bringing up these young guys, man. What else do you have to lose, man? But if your identity for the team is to play defense, bringing guys like Kadeem Allen and stressing what they did today in terms of getting out to the man and double team and stuff like that, you need to keep that momentum going so it gets ingrained in these young kids' heads. So I don't mind bringing them up.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind bringing them up either. Might as well. You know what I'm saying? You got him on a 2-way contract. You might as well bring him up and see if he can help out at least for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. We got Isaiah. I don't know where Isaiah went. There? We got Isaiah. There he is. We got Isaiah. Isaiah. Hold up 1 second. There you go. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. What's going on? 7-3 Gammo.
What's up, bro?
I see. Isaiah got the new headphones. Trying to make sure his stuff is clear. That's what I'm talking about. How'd you feel?
Crackhead for $20.
What'd you say?
Crackhead sold him for him for $20.
You might want to stay away from those, man.
Oh, this guy, man.
I'm telling you, you might want to stay away from those then, because
yeah, man.
You don't know where they got that one from,
man. Yeah,
you don't know where they got it from.
Don't worry, I dipped in that holy water.
That's annoying, man.
What's up, man? What's going on?
The game, man. What you think about the game?
The game, first half was great, man. The first half is how we wanted to play this whole year. That's how we wanted to play. And it was no coincidence that Moody and Cantor weren't in the game. You saw actual defense. You saw switching. We could actually switch and cover our man. It wasn't really any lapses. Frank, to me, I was mad because I'm like, dang, Frank would get an injury right now when he's been playing. Like, his first halves have been really great, man. Like, Frank, to me, has been really taking command of the offense, passing the ball, and I feel like his defensive energy is affecting everybody else, especially with him and Mitch on the floor. It's like those two together, man, it's actually beautiful basketball to watch when it comes to playing defense. Offense has to come, but, I'd rather us focus on the you know what, Sam? I'd rather us focus on the defensive side as a young team rather than the offensive side, because the offensive side is going to come. That's just the NBA. You're going to score. Teams are averaging about 100-something point, like 130 points a game. So I'm not really worried about the offense. I'm more worried about the defense. And, since Frank has been starting, our defense hasn't been bad. Our defense has been actually pretty good, for the most part. And again, everybody's taking responsibility. Everybody's covering the man. And again, there's no coincidence that when Cantor doesn't play and Moody doesn't play, our defense looks better. It looks actually like a normal defense. I think that has a lot to do with Frank and Mitchell, dotting them playing a lot more and getting some defensive players in there. And I think Fizz realized, or hopefully he realized, that wow, we don't need more scorers on the court. We need more defensive players on the court, which leads to offense. Like today, Frank was active with his hands, getting steals, passing the ball and getting the ball flowing, and we're actually in rhythm, taking shots. We're taking rhythm shots versus, when again, Burke is a great story. He's a great guy. Looks like he redeemed himself. So, me personally, I'm just not a big fan of him, because there was an instance in the game, I'm watching it, when Burke got tunnel vision and went to just ran down and went against 3 defenders when Lance Thomas, even though Lance Thomas wasn't going to, we all know Lance Thomas wasn't going to make the shot, but Lance Thomas was open. But Tim Hardaway said to Burke was, yo, Lance was wide open at the 3. And Burke caused the offensive foul, and it's like Tim had to tell him, like, dude, pass the ball. Lance was
Okay,
wide
so
open.
let me ask this question. Right? We are seeing from Tim Hardaway more and more of this. Guillermo pointed something out earlier, that he's seen that Tim Hardaway did. You're telling me now, Tim Hardaway, that you've seen Tim Hardaway say something to Trey Burke. We seen him say something to Alonzo Trier the other day. Is this an evolution of Tim Hardaway?
Well,
right. Is this an evolution of Hardaway, trying to become that leader?
Well, Sim, it's like, what's that old saying? It's the tea kettle calling something. I forgot the saying.
It's a pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
It's a tea.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. My bad, man. I love
that.
Was
the saying. I was looking for that saying. Thank you, though. I don't know, man. Listen, but seriously, that to me, that's the perfect saying when it comes to Tim Hardaway. Do I think he's becoming a little bit more vocal? Yeah, but at the same time, he's still doing Tim Hardaway things in which he doesn't. I watched the game today. He took bad shots. He took shots within. There was still 20 seconds left on the shot clock, and he brought the ball up himself and then didn't give it to the man. So him telling players to pass the ball. Yeah, that's good, but Tim doesn't pass the ball. So it's like, at the end of the day, it still voids it because Tim's not showing.
Because he's not.
It's always one thing to say, oh, I could tell him to pass the ball, but Tim, you got to pass the ball too. One thing Tim doesn't do that annoys me, he takes the good shots. He doesn't pass to get the great shots. That's Tim Hardaway's biggest issue. Is that if he'll call off a screen, he'll take the shot. He doesn't stay patient and look for the great shot, and that's what really, And I know we're still a young team, but that's what Golden State. That's what Celtics. Well, I don't know about the Celtics right now, but that's what the Bucks do. That's what the Denver Nuggets do. They pass up good shots to get great shots, and right now Tim Hardaway isn't doing that. Like again, it's nice to hear Tim saying that, but again. If I'm one of Tim's teammates, I'm looking at you. I'm like, you telling me to pass the ball?
I get that.
That's how.
But I'll say this, Isaiah. I'll say this. I agree with you, like 99%. But I'll say today, I guess it was Trey Burke. I just can't remember the point guard he told to pass it out. That was actually a smart play. Like, yes, I know it's the pot calling the kettle black, but what he did today, that was actually smart on his behalf. Now. I think where Tim struggles, because he's just not a high IQ player, I think a lot of times he struggles in a half percent. I think that's twofold. I think one, he's not a high IQ player. Two, let's be honest, a lot of times in our offense, Fizzo doesn't have guys moving, so it gets stagnant. So you'll see three guys literally in one area kind of dribbling the ball around, a dribble hand-up crap, and guys are getting stuck. Or guys pick up their dribble right next to two other guys or one of the guys. So I'll say yes, I think part of it's Fizzo's fault, because he doesn't have a fluid offense. He doesn't have guys moving off ball in motion. And I also say it's him. But I will say, look, he's shown flashes like this before, Isaiah. We've seen it, where he makes these smart plays where it's like, why can't you just do that for like 50% more of the game? He shot, I think, 2 for 7 tonight from three-point line, which is not good, but he was 7 for 15 for field goal shooting, which is okay. I think that's around 50%. So I won't bat. It's just I don't want to get sucked into thinking that Tim Hardaway's changed. I think if we could trade this guy, trade him off, be happy whatever he's trying to do to make himself a better player, but he's not a long-term piece, man, because it doesn't make sense for you to show these flashes. You know what the Knicks need. Tim Hardaway should be a guy who should be averaging 14 points, 8 assists, and getting everybody involved. He should be the guy basically setting up the offense, pointing away the guys that go blah, blah, blah. Like invigorating the younger guys like Frank to take better shots, or to take more shots, invigorating guys like Trier to facilitate more, getting guys like Cantor to play defense. He should be that voice. And when people see, oh, this guy's sacrificing his numbers to make the team better, then guys are going to follow you. It's not going to be like the pot calling the kettle black, like, oh, this guy's a changed man. Let's follow after this guy. But he's not doing it. So if you can build up his trade value and just trade him off, I'm happy. But I don't trust this long term.
Do you think that Hardaway is capable? You really think he's capable of averaging 8 assists?
Yeah. It's not Sim. It's not. Look, on this team, obviously, yes, we have guys who aren't the greatest of shooters. Offensively, we're not the best, whatever. But if you are a guy who's literally looking to get guys open, right? If you're just literally dribbling the ball, I would say like a Russell, the kid Russell. What's this guy's name? Russell from Brooklyn Nets. Always forget his damn name.
D'Angelo
Russell. Thank you. yeah, she could be a dribble heavy point guard, but getting guys involved. And if you wanted to, right now, Tim Hardaway, this is the thing about it. These guys think that if I need to average 22 points to look good, so teams think I'm great. But if you average 22 points, your team is losing, you're not looking great. Now, Hardaway humbled himself and said, all right, I'm going to average 14 points. But I'm going to get 7-8 assists because I'm getting guys open passes. We're moving in motion. I'm making that not hockey pass. I'm making the pass to the open guy. Because how many off-ball shooters do we have? We have Knox is an off-ball shooter. Dotson's an off-ball shooter. Hazoni's an off-ball shooter. There's no reason why these guys shouldn't be getting 3 good looks a game from Hardaway.
Hey, Gim, I'll be honest with you, Gim. If Tim Hardaway averaged 14-8, there wouldn't be no token of trading him.
I'm saying he has the ability. He has the ability because you've seen it. You've seen it from Hardaway.
If he was doing 14-8 and let's say 47% shooting,
hey,
that contract wouldn't look crazy. That contract
not at all.
Great.
But again, this is Hardaway coming off. He's a spoiled brat. He came in. He's also trying to compete with KP. Because think about it, KP's that big elephant in the room. Like, hey, when this guy's coming back, I got to go back to competing with this guy instead of saying, hey, let me be the cog that also makes KP better. That when KP comes back, he has a good system to come to. I'll sacrifice for him. He sacrificed for me in certain games. These guys in NBA, their egos are so ridiculously big. They don't see the big picture. Look at Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook's putting up numbers. His shooting percentages, I don't think that are that good. But how many assists is he averaging? I think 8, right? He's up there in terms of assists.
He's always up there. But
let me tell you about because the triple double thing that he does. But you see it now. He's giving up. He's not taking those as many bad shots he's taking. So it's in you. If you want to do it, you can do it. But you just got to humble yourself, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Getting back to Trey Burke. Do you think we find a taker for Trey Burke?
I mean, if I'm the, it has to be a playoff team, man. Because I don't see any. We're doing anything now. It's maybe like I said in the halftime show, I can see the Bucks or maybe the Rockets needing a little offensive push from the bench. I can see like the Rockets or the Bucks taking a chance on Trey Burke.
Because right now, we have it's the. I hate to say it like this, but with Frank Ntilikina going down, Emmanuel Mudiay going down, it's like perfect timing to showcase Trey Burke, right? To showcase his game to teams around the league, to make them say, okay, maybe Trey Burke is a guy that we can use. Even if it's just temporary, right? He can help some teams out. I think there are some teams out there that need point guards to finish off their, make a run down the stretch of the season. All right.
The only team I can see Sim is the Heat. Really,
the Heat need a point guard, right? The Heat are going to need a guard.
Maybe I was gonna say Pacers.
Oh, the Pacers, yeah. I can see the Pacers needing they need as much offensive scoring as they because you got to think about it. They weren't even scoring that much with Victor Oladipo, so I can see the Pacers or maybe
Somebody said Dante Exum in Utah. I wouldn't mind doing that, but Dante,
he's not going back to Utah.
Yeah, Dante's too good of a. I don't know how good he is. I always know he has potential. Can't shoot that well, but I think they like his defense a little more than Burke. I think Burke has to go to a team where one, they need offense a lot.
They need offense, right.
Two, they already have size because Burke just defensively is.
What about Detroit? What about Detroit?
Detroit. They got Reggie Jackson.
They need offense. They're not really that much of a. Besides Blake Griffin, who can really get their shot on that team?
Who's their bench? What's their bench? Let me see.
I think Stanley Johnson and them. I think.
Stanley. We got Reggie Jackson starting. You got point guard Ish Smith. He's a good facilitator, but he's not a scorer. Jose Calderon, actually, yeah, you got a point. Langston Galloway, you got a good point, Isaiah.
But now that you said that, they're guard heavy though.
they're guard heavy, but they don't have. I won't say he's a facilitator. They got. I think they got bigger guards like Luke Kennard. I think he's what 6'7" ish.
But I think the Rockets
6'5"
beat them, man. To be honest with you, I think the Rockets will take them.
The Rockets, though, will be. I think they're looking at 3-and-D players versus guards because
I think the Rockets going to need some defense. They lost a lot of defense in the offseason. They're going to need some defense, which is if we're talking about trade stuff, maybe Courtney Lee could fit someplace, with the Rockets. Go ahead, Isaiah. Go ahead.
That's why I think the Bucks might be good because right now, I mean, I think under the coach, I think they have enough defense that I think they're the number one defensive team. So I think they can use some offense off the bench because Jordan. I mean, what's his name? Hill. Is it Hill?
George Hill.
Yeah, George Hill. He's not really an offensive player.
Nah.
I don't think they got a strong bench really. And I know that. Hey, no, listen to this, because I know I heard Thon Maker doesn't want to be.
Oh.
He just requested a trade.
Yeah.
From the Bucks.
Yep.
So I say if we can switch, I'll take Thon Maker for Trey Burke.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah, I would do that too, man. But
I think that's
Thon Maker has still too much potential. I think they probably want a little bit more of a bigger package than just
that's what I'm scared about.
Man,
they might want to ask for
what is up with these young guys in the league today, demanding trades and all this wild stuff. I don't get it, man. That's crazy.
The leverage is in their hands, Sim. You don't even have to be. You could literally skate through 10 years in the NBA off of potential. Look at a guy like Amir Johnson. That guy has been to so many teams on just pure potential, and I've never seen him really have a transcendent year. And it's leverage, man. These guys, as much as I like the players have a little bit more control over their destiny, but when you're getting paid, when you're getting a Ferrari, before you even get to college, and your mom is these guys are mini gods. So it's the money, man. It's disgusting. If you're looking at a guy like Thon, it's like, how do you demand a trade? How?
So Sim, I think this is the downside that I think nobody really talks about of you getting players at 19. Nobody talks about this part of it. They think that, every player should come in at 19, which to me isn't really the point. Isn't always good because they get a couple more years in the league, but they're literally not ready. They're high schoolers. And, Thon Maker, I think, came into the league when he was maybe 18 or 19. So it's like, these kids come in here still 21, still raw because they literally never been coached. they never been, and that would happen with Moody. That's what happened with Moutier.
My thing is, you know what? If you're a vet in the league, you've been in the league for 6-7 years, right? Then I think, you've earned enough respect to say, I don't want to be here. I want to be traded, right? I want to go someplace else. I think, you earn that respect. Thon Maker's been in the league for 3 years? He's barely done anything in the league. And it's probably only certain people in the league that really should be able to demand a trade or ask. I guess anyone could request a trade. You can request it. But, there's only certain people that really get that kind of respect, man, in my opinion. Right. You know what I mean? Only certain people get that kind of respect.
He'll get it, Sim, and he's on a playoff team, which is amazing. So it's like these guys, you no longer have to show and prove. Like, damn, man, I'm not getting playing time. All right, this 5 minutes they give me, man. Let me just kill out. Let me ball out. Let me get 5 rebounds. 2 assists. 4 points. Let me try. Fill it up and then build up from there, man. It's a different NBA, and man, you can just complain your way out of a contract and. It's really disgusting, man. But what
the scary part is?
It's crazy,
and it's the part that I really hate about is that a lot of these kids have a lot of young, just talent, but now we're just so a lot of teams are impatient, man. A lot of teams don't. If they put in 4 years in you, they be like, that's it. And the funny thing is, you'll only be 21 by the time they give up on you.
That is the
most ridiculous. That's
crazy.
And this is the part about the NBA that nobody talks about is that listen, even though the Nuggets probably were right off to get Moody, but they gave up on a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, again, to me, that's truly ridiculous.
Well, you know, I think that's going to be the new norm in the NBA, to be honest with you. That, you know, younger, you know, players that are 21, 22 years old, you're going to see teams giving up on them, you know, pretty fast because, you know, there's always somebody fresh and new that's going to be coming into the league that's 18 and 19 years old. I think Trey Burke in an interview earlier, you know, kind of, you know, when they were asking him about him being 26 years old and not looked at as part of the future, you know, kind of for the Knicks, looked at as an old guy, he himself had to say that, you know, he would have to remind himself that he's not old, right? He
that's
said
crazy. That's really crazy.
Right. And you know, he said, you know, everyone is looking towards, you know, that young guy, the 18, 19, 20-year-old, and forgetting that some of these guys, you know, don't reach their peak until they're 28, 29 years old.
I mean, you know,
and giving up on some young kids. And I think it's going to happen more and more and more. And you're going to see more and more players around the league that come into one team but flourish with another team.
Oh, God. Cough, Frank Ntilikina, cough.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'd actually rather see these guys go to the Euro game first before they come over here. Because if you want to get paid, I'd rather see you overseas. At least play with a team as a coach and some type of structure, man, because these kids don't want to play for college. I understand. You don't want to play for college. That's perfectly fine. You want to get paid. But these kids coming straight in, you know, after 1 year prep school, whatever that BS thing is, to skip the 1 year, whatever, man, it also creates a bad product, Sim. A lot of these young guys, it's like there's such a disparity between the superstars who are coming in, right, and then a bunch of first-rounders who so-called flamed out just because they didn't become the saviors that their teams initially thought they were. So, I mean, you look at a guy like Moody. I'm not saying Moody is great or whatever, but it is amazing that we look at Moody like he's 28 years old, bro. We look at Moody like he's a 15-year vet who's just like a bum who's walking around. This kid is so young. He's so young, dude. And it's like none of these guys are getting any guidance or anything. So I don't know where it's going when there's so much more money coming into the game. Coaches and GMs are coming in like, look, I only got 3 years to turn this around. I don't got time to really develop you. I got to get as many points and many wins as possible. So I don't know where it's heading. It's just going to be a worse product.
I hate to get the Prince. I hate to get the Prince happy, but I do have to agree that Moutier. I mean, I'm not. Again, I will never say I'm the biggest Moutier fan because I'm just not a fan of his game and his defense. But at the end of the day, the kid is 20. I mean, I'm 25. He's 22.
Right.
The kid is like. I mean, he's. You know, it's just
a baby, man.
It's just about being patient. But again, it's easier said to say that because everybody's on the timeline. That's including the players, the GM, the president, and that's the factor that we all got to put in because, for example, like the Phoenix, how many front office revenues have the Phoenix Suns have over the past 3 or 4 years?
Right.
Because they couldn't develop the guys in time. Besides Devin Booker, who just puts up empty stats. But, you know, it's like the other guys around him. And it's just, I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of the way the league is going because it's like you're giving up on kids that just never had the guidance and just went through the AAU system. Again, people, it's so funny. Like, 20 years ago, the norm of a player coming into the league was 23. Michael Jordan came at 22.
Right, he was old.
Exactly.
You finished college before you finished college, or you were a junior. You were a junior at least.
Isaiah, the only saving grace I'll say, the only thing that's a saving grace is that you have to have these top level coaches, right? The Bud Holes, even though he went to Bucks who had Giannis, these guys got to be given enough time on the smaller market teams, and those teams when they draft these high guys or whatever. The owners have to be like, look, we're not going to attract the LeBrons. We're not going to attract the Hardens, whatever. So I might as well instead of giving this guy 2-3 years to develop, I'm going to give him 5 years to develop. You have, I would say carte blanche, but you have time to develop these kids. Let's develop them the right way. Let's have a good system to go about developing these guys, man, because it's disgusting. It's a bad product. So hopefully NBA, you know, puts a little memo out to some of these smaller market teams. Hey, Take your time. Don't try to sell out. Don't keep making regime changes. Be a little bit more patient with these kids because we need a better product on the floor because we can't keep giving Harden, allow him to take 8 steps just so we can create an artificial superstar so he can fill up points on a nightly basis because all of our other stars are so-called expected stars ain't doing anything. Because I can't watch another Harden take 8 steps for 3 and no one call it. That's not basketball,
but you know what, Gamma, that kills that Gamma? For every Anthony Bennett Gamma, they're going to always point out, look at Anthony Davis. Look at Kyrie Irving.
Right.
Look at they're going to show you. They're not going to show you the bad. They're only going to show you the kids that came out ready. They're going to show you the Luka Dontons. They're going to show you the Anthony Davises, LeBron James. They're not going to show you the Kwame Browns, the Anthony Bennetts. They're not going to do that, man. So I mean, at the end of the day, we got to live with it. But hopefully, it can balance out one day where these kids are not just called bums at 21 or 22.
All right.
But
Yeah.
You go ahead, son.
Yeah. So let me ask you. Talking about draft picks and guys changing teams and developing for other teams. Let me ask you this. We got the trade deadline coming up, right? It seems like the Knicks want to move players that are under, if you're over 26 years old, you're not safe. The only person that seems to be safe is Lance Thomas, that's over 26. Courtney Lee, right? Courtney Lee obviously isn't safe. Tim Hardaway, they've let it be known that he's on the trading block. Trey Burke is on the trading block. And Enes Kanter obviously is on the trading block. I'm gonna do a video with some suggested trades. Right. I hope to do it this week, but I got a lot going on this week.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
But I just want to know, what do you think? Where do these guys end up? Do these guys actually get shipped out of town? Right. Let's start with Tim Hardaway Jr. Right. And look at some trade scenarios with Tim Hardaway Jr. Obviously, everyone is looking at. Everybody is looking at the Indiana Pacers, right, and saying, that's the likely spot where Tim Hardaway Jr. could and should end up is Indiana. I'm not exactly sure that would be the landing spot for Tim Hardaway Jr. because
I don't think he's an Indiana guy, son.
Because on the Indiana side, right? That's why I think because on the Indiana side, it's like. If you trade for Tim Hardaway Jr., that's my daughter standing behind me. She don't want to put her face in it. She don't want to put her face in the picture. So instead, she just got her T-shirt in the picture. But
hey,
right?
Tell her. Who birthday is it?
That's all I have to say.
Huh?
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's your birthday, sir?
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday?
Yeah, it's my
Happy birthday, man. What? Yo,
it's
my
not nobody,
birthday.
old man.
Huh?
What's wrong with this guy, man? Why you trying to be so humble, man? What's wrong with you, man?
It's my
Frazier?
birthday today, yeah. 43 years old today.
Happy birthday, son. Can we all wish you happy birthday, son?
I appreciate it, everyone.
Yo, everybody in the chat, can we wish our main man, that causes all this to happen, a happy birthday, man?
I appreciate it.
Come on, don't start doing that, Walt Clyde Frazier. Don't do that, son.
Yo, Sid, man, you too humble, man.
Don't try to be humble. Don't try to do that. Show off that.
Yeah, man. Thank you, his daughter, for embarrassing him. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
What's wrong with this guy, man? It's your birthday. Sis.
I don't know. Hey, I never announce it to anyone. That's just how I just don't. But I appreciate it.
Don't lie to us. We don't like that. Don't do that.
You said lie. What did I lie about?
Don't be the next front office, sir. Don't lie.
Oh yeah. Oh, he called you Steve
wow.
Mills.
You see that?
Oh, no Steve Mills.
Oh,
yeah. Wow. Dang, somebody said happy 55th. Look at that. Wow. That's a tough one.
But Sim, where do you think he'll go? Because I actually think he would go. I think the Pacers might actually get desperate, man. Because
I don't think
that Oladipo loss is too much, bro. Man. But who else is going to score on that team? Like, let's think about it. Who else? I don't have the big guy Turner.
Sabonis, but no.
Sabonis is not a guy who's going to take you
Yeah, my thing about Indiana though is that they take in they're not the Knicks. They take into accountability if you can play defense, and they're a tough nose. We're gonna grind you out kind of defense. And I'll be honest with you, man, I don't think Tim's the Indiana guy that. Okay, I mean, I'll
say this, Isaiah. Certain guys
was the best defender, but
but certain guys play differently once they come into a system where there's a hierarchy, where there's a culture, and where there's winning. Right? Some guys, they just play differently. They get in line, right? Yeah, Tim Hardaway's not J.R. Smith, but even J.R. Smith got in line for a little bit when he played with the Cavs. So if Tim Hardaway comes to that team and they look at him like, hey, they're not gonna say to him, they're gonna say you're Oladipo light. Come in, take good shots, play okay defense. He might live up to the challenge. He might do what he was doing tonight in flashes in terms of facilitating, telling guys where to be, being accountable, even though he did shoot 2 for 7 from the 3-point line. So guys might change up when they go to a contender, man. That's all I'm saying. I think when guys come to New York, they look at New York like, hey, it's a rotten apple. We've been losing for so long. I need to get my Twitter followers up. I'm going to do whatever I want. But you go to a team that there's winning and it's low key, and you don't have no strip clubs or no clubs or anything to wild out.
No, Israel, don't crash for looking at this. Don't do that.
Yeah. Let me give you a quick, big shout out to my wife for announcing it in the video chat that it was my
wifey for lifey. That's Mama Sim.
Right. Big shout out to Marty Knicks for the happy birthday wishes, and Brian Nurse, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, everyone. Definitely appreciate it.
Happy birthday, Sam.
Don't lie to us again.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, 76. I got you 76, baby.
That's it, 76. That's the year.
Trying to tell him.
That's that special year right there, 76.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know 76. I thought that was 66, but he's counting.
Dang, Isaiah, you need to go back to school.
I'm gonna go to school with C-Dog in this.
Try to add an extra 10 years on, man.
Oh man.
Yo, Sim, you know Black don't crack.
yeah, man, I can hear you. So
Oladipo gonna be out for like at least a year. So by the time he come back, Hardaway can be an expiring contract to the Indiana Pacers. So I definitely can see how that could work for them.
Yeah. No, he's gonna opt in though.
I'm saying Oladipo's gonna be gone for like a year. So by the time he's healthy, it'll be in that final year. Probably he might miss all the next year. I mean, that was
what was his injury? ACL?
Nah, he had like a split knee. Like his knee broke. Like it's bad. Did you see it?
No. I saw, but I didn't know what the diagnosis was.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when I heard the diagnosis, it fit what I saw because it was every time somebody saying the diagnosis, they like make it.
I can hear you. I think you got you mute right now.
Yo, can you tell Sim to unmute me, man?
Hey, tell him he's already unmuted.
Yo, my man.
Israel, what's poppin', man?
Brother. Wish you all the best, man. Happy 19th birthday.
19. All right, come on, son. You wild.
19. Yes, sir.
He's not a pretty girl.
Doing your thing, Sim. I hopped on just to say that, brother. Happy birthday, man.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it.
I'll hang on for like another 5 minutes, but then I gotta wrap it up.
All right. Sounds good.
What are we talking
about? Sounds good. Right now we're talking about possible trades for Tim Hardaway Jr. Just looking at, we kind of going down, looking at everyone who's up for, up to be traded, who's on a trading block. And,
wait, what about Milwaukee? Milwaukee might take 10.
They already got a bunch of Eric Bledsoe,
They don't got a real small forward though.
Yeah, but who needs a shooter?
They got Brogdon. They got Brogdon.
What the hell's this guy's name?
And
who's a big man? The guy always kills us. Got a weird head.
You talking about Middleton?
Middleton.
Yeah, they got Middleton. Never mind. You right.
Yeah, they good. Yo, on the real, we might look back at this and this Oladipo injury. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but it's a strong possibility that they might be the team that we was looking for to get desperate around this time. Unfortunately, injury, but still, this might be, like the biggest thing that happened to the Knicks franchise. Oladipo going down. Unfortunately, I'm just saying it is what it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind giving Hardaway up.
We was all saying it. We're going to need a desperate team, and lo and behold, you know what I'm saying?
See, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that there might be a chance that the Pacers might feel confident in their team to hold a top spot.
They got Tariq Evans.
East. People got to remember that too.
Oh, they have Tariq Evans. I forgot about that. Yeah, and the East is weak. I mean, if the Heat are 7 seed
so here's the thing: they're still going to get into the playoffs regardless. They're still, because the difference in, I think, even if they suck, they'll still get in because they play hard, and they'll still probably get like 45 wins. So, you know,
the only thing I'll say is that if they really thought they were going to be contenders for the East, they might pull the trigger quickly. But if they thought it was like, even with Oladipo, we probably weren't going to get as close as we were. You know, even though they took the Cavs to 7 games last year, they might just be like, look, we retool, not retool, but go after some free agents coming off to kind of replace Oladipo. Because if Oladipo's knee is that messed up, he's not going to be the same player. I don't care what no one says. If your whole knee is exploded, I mean, you ain't come back the same. So they might just go into free agency and look to replenish.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what though? Indiana is one of those places that they're like Utah. They're one of those teams that other teams look like, okay, maybe we could send them a player because players don't really look to go to places like Indiana in free agency. So they might look at that.
That's also
like,
true.
This might be our free agent opportunity to get Hardaway. And like I said, by the time Oladipo is healthy to come back, more than likely, Hardaway will be in that final contract, in that final year. So they might, he might be an expiring contract because I think Oladipo is going to be out all of next year.
Yeah, and remember this, Hardaway did play better for spurts with Budenholzer on the Hawks. And he didn't like Budenholzer, but Budenholzer got the best out of him. So if he goes to the Pacers, it might be the same deal. Like, he's playing for contender. You know what I mean?
Millen don't play neither.
Don't play, man. You playing for contender where you're basically filling the shoes of Oladipo. You're going to have to play to a higher level than what you're doing with the Knicks. So, like I said, I like the pin going to the Pacers, man. As long as we don't give no draft picks or no Frank, or I know guys hate Frank. No Frank, no draft picks, nothing crazy. Just trade him off.
The Pacers don't have no wings outside of the
good thing about
3 point guards. They got
the good thing about the Pacers, the
George Hill,
they're all expiring deals, so they can trade us. They can trade us a couple point guards, and we can.
Now they got Collison. They got Collison, Joseph. They got the young.
With the all expiring deals.
Yeah. I think Utah's the best place. I think Utah's the best place for them to get traded over there because I think they want to get rid of Ricky Rubio over there. They need shooters on that team. So I think that's the best place for them to get traded.
Yeah, but Hardaway and Mitchell cannot play together, man.
Yeah, they can't play together. Plus,
there's no way.
Hardaway needs to come off the bench. Hardaway needs to come off the bench.
But you got to remember too, how many years does Rubio have left?
But Rubio, I'm not sure. I think
the whole purpose is that we got to find a team that we can trade Hardaway. So we don't put
get back an expiring contract.
Right. Rubio's on an expiring contract.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was on a contract.
Yeah, this is his last year. I think he's this should be his last year. They signed him to a 4-year deal, and this is the 4th year already, I think. Is it? I think so, yeah.
I don't know, but
he's just not a player that that's the purpose. The whole purpose. I mean, the whole purpose is to get rid of Hardaway.
Yeah. I think something that's going to maybe get in our way when it comes to trading Tim Hardaway Jr. is that teams I think are going to be looking to see if they can do something for Bradley Beal, right?
That's the domino effect.
I think they're going to be. I don't know if Bradley Beal is going to be on the trading block, right? Or if he's going to be available. But I think there are going to be some teams that are, looking to see can we pull Bradley Beal and trying to pull Bradley Beal because the Washington Wizards, I don't know what's going on in Washington, but that may be something that is a bit of an obstacle for us. It could be an obstacle, but it could also be, if they say no, he's just off the books, he's not being traded. Then teams look towards.
The Wizards need a center, man, because Dwight Howard hasn't been playing over there. So they should take Cantor and just throw him another like a second-round pick or something.
No, but they're over the cap.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they got almost. I think they almost got $100 million tied up between Bill, Otto Porter, and the issue. The biggest issue with what the Wizards and why nobody will trade with them is because the first thing they're trying to do is get rid of John Wall. That's the number one thing they're trying to do. But you can't get rid of John Wall because his contract is too insane. So it's almost impossible to trade with Wizards unless they're dealing with Bill.
I ask you this: would the Wizards look to try to get Mike Conley? I mean, it wouldn't be smart, right?
Nah, that's too much money, man.
But they're not trying to tank, right? They're not trying to tank. That's what they said. They still want to make a push for the playoffs. Would they look to try to get Mike Conley? Now you owe two guards $30-40 million. That'd be crazy. That'd be off the chain. They'd have to move John Wall in order to do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sim, if I was the Wizards, I'd be like, let's trade point guards. Because let's keep it a funky. The Memphis Grizzlies will never ever get a free agent. They're just not where they're going. Nobody would ever go to Memphis for the most part. If I was the Grizzlies, I'll be real. I'm not going to have a star point guard like John Wall. I would trade an older point guard to get John Wall and just.
But I don't think the Grizzlies would trade for John Wall though. I think there would have to be a 3-team trade, and John Wall would have to go elsewhere because they're looking to trade Mike Conley so that they can free up cap space, so they can get out from underneath. So they can get out from underneath that contract. I don't see them trying to take Mike Conley. I'm just wondering with the Wizards.
And they want to trade Marc Gasol also.
Yeah.
But the thing is though, if I'm the Wizards, if you want Bradley, you got to give me Jaren Jackson Jr. That's off the rip. You got to give me. You got to at least give me a first-round pick and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Landing spots for Nets Cantor, Israel. I think I kind of agree with what you're saying about the Wizards needing a center because they haven't. Dwight Howard was supposed to be there. He's not there. I don't know what the Wizards. I don't know what their cap space and I don't know what all that stuff looks like. But
it's pretty bad. So like I said,
I know it's bad. I don't know if they have any expiring contracts or anything like that. Or anything we would want.
It's what's his name? Trevor, the kid that we drafted that played for the Lakers and he played for Phoenix.
Trevor Ariza.
Yeah, Trevor Ariza. I think he's the only expiring deal they have, really, because he's on a 1-year, $15 million deal.
Well, I don't know. See, look at that now. Now look at that. Well, he's on a 1-year, $15 million deal, and I don't know what their intentions are with Trevor Ariza. But if you could move Enes Kanter to the Wizards because they need a center, right? And you bring back Trevor Ariza and maybe somebody else. The salary, you don't really have to match the salaries because they're close enough, but you would want to. You wouldn't want to trade away 18 and bring back 15 because now you're hurting your cap space for 2019. But if you could find a way to make it work where it's 18 or you bring back 20, but they need a center if they're trying to make the playoffs. They need a guy that can come in and rebound for them and score in the paint. Howard wasn't really doing anything for him anyway. Maybe. I don't know. I think the Knicks are probably still going to be looking at. I think the Knicks want to try to trade for Jabari Parker with Enes Kanter. I don't think the Bulls want to do it, but I think they want to bring back that $20 million and send out that $18 million so that they can, they clean up a little bit more, $2 more million of cap space in 2019. I don't think that's going to happen either. I don't know what other likely landing spots there could be for Enes Kanter. I feel like for Kanter, it's gonna end up
in a buyout
because there would be spots. There would be spots, I think, if the Knicks were willing to take back money. But obviously, the Knicks don't want to take back money, right? So then I think there's going, it's gonna end in a buyout. What about? What did you say?
What's really been pissing me off with Kanter? I feel like he's been lowering his trade value by talking so much. And it's like he's killing his trade value because he's just showing that he can't be a professional. But that's a little annoying about what Kanter's doing right now.
Yeah, and B-Baller for real, what I was saying as far as why trade Kanter for Ariza, what I didn't mention in there is that, hopefully, maybe you would be able to have the Wizards, since they need a center, maybe you would be able to have the Wizards attach a draft pick or some kind of asset to it. So I didn't add that in there, but that's the reason why I would say, you know, you trade Cantor for Ariza so that maybe you can get the Wizards to, if they didn't have plans for Ariza, so that, you know, you can get the Wizards to attach an asset. That was my only reason for bringing that up, right? Is to get the Wizards to attach an asset to it. You know, maybe a draft pick or, you know, something like that. Probably is not going to happen. You know, probably is not going to happen. You know.
Yo, Sims, let me tell you something, man. Their general manager or whoever's running the show and the Wizards are a bunch of idiots, yo. How are they going to trade Kelly Oubre, a young player that's on the rise? He's actually killing it right now with the Phoenix Suns right now. He's averaging like 20 points a game. To get Trevor Ariza, that's already like, you know, past his prime.
Well, Israel, you got to understand.
But what the hell was the point of that? Like, that organization is just, I don't know what they're doing, man. They're just giving out contracts. They're just picking up old players, picking up new. I don't know what they're doing in that.
Well, you know, Ernie Grunfeld used to be, you know, he used to be a general manager of the Knicks. You know,
I know that.
Yeah, Ernie Grunfeld. Yeah.
I heard the big thing.
And B-Baller for real is saying, you know, just buy him out. And my thing about that is, you know, Enes Kanter makes $18 million a year. Somebody probably needs, you know, might need a rebounder and someone who can score in the post. If you can trade him and still trade him to a team that is, you know, and you're going to bring back expiring contracts and it doesn't hurt your cap space. If you can trade him to try to bring back an asset, why not? Why just buy him out? You don't buy him out before the deadline. You see if you can make a move with Cantor before the deadline. See if you can bring back some kind of an asset. You know what I'm saying? Not just straight up buy him out. See if you can bring back an asset. If you can't bring back an asset, then you just buy him out. But I think you got to try to see if you can bring back an asset with Cantor's contract. You know what I mean? You know, that's just the way that I see it. You know, trying to bring back an asset. Will it happen? Probably not. You know, probably not. But, you know, because like I said before, Cantor, you know, he's an antiquated center. You know, not a lot of teams are playing his style. You know. Well, we talked about Trey Burke. Courtney Lee. Any landing spots you see for Courtney Lee?
76ers.
Nah, they already got too many shooters on that team, I think. No?
They don't have enough shooters, really. Besides, we got to think about it. The starting five, the only good shooter on that team is J.J. Redick. They're not really. I see him going to like the Sixers or maybe Toronto. Maybe I don't know.
I see him going to Trailblazers.
Oh, that would actually. Well, no, they got way too many guards. They have, and they don't need to shoot. And they got Steph Curry.
Yeah, but you can never have enough 3-and-D players, you know?
But if you think about it, they have Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, C.J. McCollum, and they have a couple other guards, too. I don't see him going there. I can see him going to, like, something.
I think he's definitely going to go to a contending team. I don't think he's going to go to, like, a...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He deserves to go to, like, a contending team somewhere that's, like, they're going to be in the playoffs and stuff.
Yeah.
Even the Nets, yo. Bastard Nets.
Yeah, you know, we'll see what's gonna happen. You know, we got about a week. We got a week and a half until the trade deadline is over. So, you know, the next week and a half, we'll see if the Knicks are gonna, you know, really make some moves out there. You know, I thought that the Knicks were gonna be quiet at the trade deadline, but it's looking more and more like something, you know, the Knicks is gonna do something at the trade deadline, and you know, I'm anxious to see what it is that the Knicks may do at the trade deadline, because, you know, look, it is very well possible if the Knicks have their way, which I don't think so, but if they move Cantor, Hardaway, and Trey Burke and Courtney Lee, right, and they bring back all young guys, it is entirely possible that the Knicks come back after the trade deadline with one player who is older than 26, And then they're playing with, I mean, you talk about a youth movement. This is more like it'd be more like a baby movement. Forget a youth movement.
Yo, Sims, watch nothing happen, man. Watch them not give up anybody. They're not gonna freaking trade anybody. Man, how many times did we see that before? We think we're gonna freaking see a crazy trade deadline. Freaking nothing happens, yo.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. A lot of times it's happened. A lot of times. Yeah, it's happened a lot of times, man. And then, but then, you know, here's the thing: if that does happen, then the Knicks got to fill out their roster with players, right? You move. I mean, I'm sure that. Well, they might bring back some people, right? You know, you trade Cantor, you trade Hardaway, Burke, Courtney Lee. You might bring back a few players.
League.
So I want people to understand. So I do want people to understand this. I think to be realistic, we're not trading everybody.
Oh,
I want people to understand. I have to understand that part.
Right.
The people that we all want traded won't probably most likely be here. But I think what I can see realistically what the Knicks doing, I can see them buying out Cantor and then trading Trey Burke. I can see that happening as being realistic.
Okay.
Because I just don't think. And maybe Courtney Lee, but Tim Hardaway, no. I don't think people are going to want to pay. Not this year until he made. I think until his last year, that's when we were able to trade him.
Yeah. We'll see what's going to happen, man. Tomorrow night, Frank Ntilikina is not traveling to Charlotte. With the Knicks. So there you have it. Frank Ntilikina is going to be out. Emmanuel Mudiay.
Yo, Sim, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna head off, man. I'm gonna go upstairs. I just want to say happy birthday to you again, man.
Appreciate it.
All the best, brother. Health, number one is health, man. You always stay healthy. Keep doing your thing. And shout out to the chat, everybody in the chat. We all brothers here.
And sisters.
Let's keep tanking. I mean, I don't want to say tank. I don't want to be tanking, but it's horrible right now. But you know, hopefully we get a good draft pick this year. We start turning things around. Let's shoot for freaking my man Zion. And if not, I love Morant. I love John Morant is a beast right now. You're probably one of the best point guards. But we're not going to talk about all that right now because I'm sure you're going to get into it soon.
Yeah, we're going to get into it soon.
Vincent. Happy birthday, brother.
Appreciate it, bro.
I'll be on soon, man. All right, brother?
All right, I appreciate it, bro.
Have a good night, fellas.
Peace. All right, man. All right, fellas. Yeah, no Frank tomorrow night. It's going to be Trey Burke matched up against Kemba Walker. All right, Trey Burke matched up against Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker starting on the All-Star team.
What's up with Kadeem Allen?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about that earlier. I think they should bring up Kadeem Allen instead of
they definitely do.
Instead of trying to force Alonzo Trier to run the point guard spot, I think they should bring up Kadeem Allen. You know, I think that'd be the move. That'd be the smart move, I think. You know, Kemba Walker was starting in the All-Star game. You know, big shout out to Kemba Walker for that. I think this is his first time being voted to be a starter, if I believe, right?
Yeah,
yes, sir. UConn the building, baby. UConn.
Yeah, so you know, Trey Burke versus Kemba Walker. I'm not sure. You know, the Charlotte Hornets right now, I think they got the seventh. They're in like the seventh spot. They're in the seventh seed, I believe, in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, we know where the Knicks are. I'm expecting the Knicks to go down there and take a loss. I just want to see a good loss. I just want to see them battle. The way that they battle tonight, I just want to see them battle again tomorrow night against the Charlotte Hornets. That's all I want to see. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah, you awake?
Oh, yeah.
You going to finish this stream out with me? What's up, man?
Nah, you know, for your birthday gift, I'm gonna finish the stream out with you, man.
Finish it out, man, because you know I'm about to head out in like 5 minutes anyway. All right, because I got a busy week. Oh, and by the way, my 18 and over team, man, we won the championship earlier today. You know, so big shout out to my 18 and over team. If any of them are watching, we won the championship in our 18 and over league, and then we added another 6'8" dude to the squad. right? So, you know, we're looking to win that the next league again starts in February. We're looking to take the championship again. So yeah, that's what's up. Big shout out to those guys for winning it today. We went undefeated. We went undefeated and won the championship. So big shout out to them. But fellas, I'm gonna head off, man.
Yo, Sim, congratulations. Yo, so you coach 2 teams?
I coach 3 teams, actually.
What?
Yeah, I coach.
You're 15 job, man.
Yeah. You know?
Me the coach, me the assistant coach.
I coach.
Me the captain, the point guard.
Yeah, I'm the assistant coach for my daughter's high school team.
Okay.
I coach AAU team. I'm about to coach 2 AAU teams, though. I'm coaching the varsity level girls, and then middle school level girls, and then I coach an 18 and over boys team.
Crazy. Yeah, you doing your thing, dog. Man, you went into retirement. I know you used to play ball, so you went into retirement. Like,
yeah. I mean,
like to go in, man.
I
big ups to you.
Yeah, I still play in the 30 and over league. You know what I mean? I still play in the 30 and over league. Yeah, so the 30 and over league plays on Thursday nights. The boys 18 and over team. I used to play with the 18 and over, but now I'm just like, if somebody's not there and they need me to fill in, I fill in. You know, man, I'm on the roster, but I ain't trying to get up and down with them guys like that right now.
Yeah,
you know
I see you. I see you got that Mark Jackson back you down to the.
Yeah.
Shoot the hook shot over you. I see you trying to horse your daughter.
Right.
She got some nice moves, though, man. She was hitting you with the finesse, bro.
Yeah, she can play, man. She can play a little bit.
Yo, no doubt.
Yeah, man.
Yo, hold on. So the 18 and over, y'all won the championship. So 18 and over, what does it go up to? Like 22, 25? What?
Nah, I mean, it can go up to any age. It can go up to any age. But we won a chip. We I think our oldest player on our 18 and over, our oldest player is like 23 on my 18 and over team. But
so y'all some young boys giving them old heads.
Yeah. But we're in the middle. We're in the middle.
Like y'all.
Nah, they don't. They don't. We're in the middle league right now, though. We haven't moved up to the A league. So there's an A, B, and a C. Right now, we're in the middle league. And in the middle league, you know, there's a lot of players that play college ball and stuff like that. The A league got a lot of players play college and pro ball.
Wow.
Right? So, you know, we said if we went undefeated and won the championship, we might move to the A League. But I think we're going to take one more season in the B League before we move up to the A League, because them guys in the A League, they're hooping for real.
Right.
You know,
I'm saying either way, man, y'all played against y'all peers, y'all dominated, man.
Yeah.
Coaching 2 other teams, man, and doing the show, man. Yo, big ups to you, man. You
I appreciate it, man.
Enthusiast for real.
That boy Jamaican.
I love ball. I mean that's what it is, man. Basketball. You know, basketball's done a lot for me, so it was only right I get back. You know what I mean?
I can dig it.
Yeah. But yo, I'm gonna head out, fellas. I'm gonna head out for the night.
See you soon.
Hey, Sim, I just want to say one thing, Sim, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, God bless you, man. And now I really am appreciated for all you do.
Appreciate it, man.
And you know, happy birthday to you. More blessings, more life, and you deserve it all, man. You're doing amazing things, and you got all these things, and you still take the time out to talk to us regular degulars. You're an amazing dude, man. I got so much love for you, man.
You make us feel like we're important, Sim.
I'm not gonna lie, Sim. I can say this as a man. I love you, Simeon.
I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
I got love for you, man. You can say I love you back, but it's okay. I
got love for you back too, Isaiah. I got love for you back too, man.
With the corporate, okay.
I love you back, man. Trust me.
That 90s R&B video.
No, I said, man, thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. And I hope everybody on the chat can say happy birthday, man. And just, you know, that we so appreciative of you, man. Thank you again, man.
I think they did. I appreciate it, man.
Happy
birthday. There you go. Look at that.
He's on the black version.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Wow, that sounds really disturbing.
I guess we going out on that one right there. All right. Peace, y'all. We catch y'all later.
Peace, Sam.